It's Tuesday evening, and I am ready to go over some of these notes for you. Hopefully, if you were absent or if you need a refresher, that this video will make things more clear. All right, so first, a few housekeeping. We have a new policy on late work. So from Monday forward, all work must be turned in on time to receive full credit. That is 3 p.m. on Friday and 3 p.m. Saturday for online students. If you are absent from class, you still have the same due date and time that you would if you were sitting in class. 10% will be deducted for each day the work is late, and if after 5 days you haven't turned it in, it will receive a 50% or an F. To make things easier, because it was not communicated to me that everyone had a problem scanning, I will now accept photos of the homework. Make sure that your handwriting is legible and the image is clear, or I just can't accept it. So as you can preview your photos, I'm sure that won't be an issue. So the main thing that we're talking about this time is the SEE simple way, the simple structure to create a paragraph. And again, we are talking a lot in this class about structure, not so much content, but just structure. So if you have your topic sentence, which of course is one of the little umbrellas under the big umbrella of your thesis statement, plus 2 SEE sentences, so that's a statement followed by an explanation or an example, plus your clincher, which will reflect or repeat 2 or 3 keywords from your topic sentence. That will give you a simple structure paragraph. If you combine 3 of these simple structure paragraph with an introduction, which includes the thesis statement as your last sentence, and a conclusion, which kind of wraps up and makes it relevant to the reader, you have created a very solid essay, which is the point of this class, to learn how to do this structure so that you can move forward in your writing and have it be a nice solid essay. So modeling paragraph number 1, which is on your page 23, has this paragraph. I'm going to just let you maybe turn to that page and kind of look at it. You can see that I have highlighted in red the topic sentence and the clincher. So let's look at that first statement. I'm now putting the statement in blue. And then it is followed by an example or an explanation. And then the second example or explanation is left in black for you. Here it is: speaking out, even graciously, takes fortitude. Highlighted in blue then is a related statement, still under the topic sentence, still refers to it, followed by an example or a statement, or example or an explanation. And then you have the last example or explanation, which is: should he go along with the group and watch or affirm his standards and leave? Okay, so if you look at that, you can see that that kind of falls together pretty nicely. Let's look at modeling paragraph number 2. When parents give gifts to their children, blah, blah, blah. I will let you look at that. You can read it on your own. You can stop the video or just kind of read along. I've highlighted in red the topic and the clincher. And then here are the statements and the first example and the explanation or another example. So you can see clearly here, these are made up in in this SEE format. Okay, so now we're going to kind of back up a little bit and talk about showing instead of telling, because although this is in the CEE format, it's not the strongest paragraph that one could write. So when you are showing and telling, sometimes you can bring into the essay your personal experience. You can think of examples in the world similar to that first modeling paragraph, the example of being at a movie that may be inappropriate and what decision the person would make. But you can also use personal experience. That's the second kind of support. So let's have a look at that. So we take the kind of the bare bones paragraph, if you will, about gift giving, and then we put a showing example in there. I put it in green, all in one, in first person singular, so an I story, because it is personal experience. It differs from an example in that an example is not something that happened to you. This has to be something that happened to you. So you can read the bit in green. And then the second example or explanation is there in black, the writing of the author of the book. I have to be clear about that. So I did not make this up, and this is not a personal experience that happened for me, but that's what she has written in the book. Let's look again at, now again this week, I should say also that we are going to spend 2 weeks on this unit. So this week we're only working with those examples, personal experience, and statistics. So we're not going to be, I'm not going to be expecting you to use any other kind of forms of support until we go over them. Okay, so here's the homework. You're going to try exercise 4A, practice writing body paragraphs for the first 3 evidence support methods like examples, personal experience, and statistics. Please proofread for spelling and grammar. Had some spelling and grammar issues in what was handed in the first week. And so because although we're not focusing on mechanics, if you need to have someone proofread it or you can proofread it yourself, make sure that you have that done. Unfortunately, it is handwritten rather than typed, so spell check isn't going to help you, but maybe someone in your household can. So what we worked on in class in the showing versus telling was the chart on page 24. We spent a little time in class on this. She has some examples, an example chart on, unfortunately, the teacher book and the student book are completely different. So let me turn to page 17, and you can see there's a chart there where it has telling and then showing. As the informative, it kind of goes first step, second step, third step, fourth step, walking you through kind of the showing part. Makes a much more interesting example than the internet makes shopping convenient. So that's a personal experience support for an informative example. Then the second part there is my dog was scared. It's a descriptive. And so you can see all of those sensory items, like it growled and it went behind, backed up behind. So, you can kind of see that in your mind. You get a picture in your mind of what was happening there. And then, here's the smoking. Here's the example of the persuasive using statistics. So here she has that 50-50 in words, and then she has some numbers with the 25% and 21 years. So you can see that those are some statistics And that is how she's using those. So on page 24, then there is a chart. I would like each student to complete this. The first one is Dad is very funny. The second one is Mom sometimes forget things. The cat was afraid of Tora, the very brave dog. And fill in the blank, your favorite sport is fun. Okay, so the first two there, Dad is very funny and Mom sometimes forgets things. If you feel compelled to flip those, that is perfectly fine. Again, we're not going so much for content. We're really going for structure. But if those don't really fit, I think that would be just fine. If your mom is funny and your dad forgets things, that is just fine to do. In class, we did not complete, but we began in our red, yellow, green, blue groups on exercise 3A, the body paragraphs on page 25. For you, for home, I want you to turn to page 27 and look at exercise 4A. Again, you're going to choose one of those topics for number 1, and you're going to circle the essay type that you're attempting, describe, inform, or persuade. Then you're going to circle the support option, example, personal experience, or statistic. You're going to either transfer your thesis statement from exercise 2, the homework you did, or you can create a new thesis statement. And then for the body, I want you to come up with a topic sentence, but I would also accept simply a statement and then followed by an example or explanation, followed by another example or explanation. So in using that SEE format. Then for number 2, choose a different topic from the top of the page. Circle the essay type you're going to try. Circle the support option you're going to use. Either transfer your thesis from the previous exercise number 2 that you did last week, create a new thesis, and then for the body, do a statement, an example or explanation, followed by another example and explanation. I hope that's clear. If you have any questions, why don't you message me? And thanks for watching the video.